Hello, everybody, and welcome into a very special Thanksgiving Day special on the Farzy Show here at the Steven Singer Studios. That's right, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. But just to spoil it, we did pre-record this, so I have no idea what the Sixers did last night. So I'll give you two reactions real quick. Oh, my God, Tyrese Maxey, the Sixers team, they're incredible beating the Warriors like that. Man. Reaction two. What the hell is Doc Rivers doing? Well, I guess it just the clock was going to run out sooner or later. The clock was going to strike midnight on Maxey at some point, I guess. Rough loss. Anyway, there's that. Take which one applies. Today is going to be a Thanksgiving Day special to show what we're thankful for. And a couple of people that I'm very thankful for here at the Farzy Show are two people that I've been associated with now for quite some time. Happy to talk about any charity that they get involved with, anything they try to help out with. And that's the Ertz Family Foundation. You can check them out, ertzfamilyfoundation.org. Of course, it's former Eagles tight end and Super Bowl champion Zach Ertz's family foundation. And you guys can help out by donating money to a great cause with the House of Hope. You've heard me talk about this for a couple of weeks. You can go ahead and log on to ertzfamilyfoundation.org, and you'll see this screen pop up, Grace and Peace Community Fellowship House of Hope, where you can donate $8.60 if you can to help out with House of Hope. Now, I was lucky enough, as I told you some weeks ago, to jump out there for their groundbreaking and MC that ceremony. It was my honor to do so. We will play for you a little package put together by producer Jim himself, Jim Hyden, who produces this show. And we will also air for you for the first time an interview with Zach and Julie themselves talking about the charity. And Zach also weighs in on Jalen Hurts and what he could be for the Philadelphia Eagles. But first, here's a little bit more information on House of Hope. How about that groundbreaking outside? Yeah. I would love to say that it's just the beginning, but this thing started a long, long time ago. The assets that the Ertzes have been to Philadelphia, there's not enough adjectives in our language to describe how great they have been to our community and how much they want to make sure this city keeps on progressing to reach its full potential. And this place right here, House of Hope, is only going to make Philadelphia more of a home to so many people in our community. So give it up for that.
We come up in a generation, if you understand this culture, that says that you need to make it in the hood so that you can leave the hood. We changed that narrative. We said we want you to be in the hood, get trained up in the hood. If you need to leave for a short time, but we want you to come back to the hood to transform this place. That's what this thing is about. That's what the buy-in is.
This is the heart of the city. And I believe until we heal, then the rest of the city is not going to heal. Until we begin to take care and address some of the ills in this community, nothing's going to happen. Everything starts from the heart and it radiates outward. So I am honored and pleased and grateful for this opportunity for us to move forward and for the real work to begin. And
when we got here, they said, hey, we have this building, we have this vision. They had the energy, they, had everything, but they said, we don't really know how to take those next steps with the city and the permitting and pretty much all of that stuff. And we said, hey, this is what we do for a living. We would love to take our skill, our knowledge, and really give back to the city that we build in, the city we live in, the city that we love. So.
We always talked about this. And I would sit in these meetings and they would say, Leo, what is your goal for Team Hotel? And I would always say, we need a resource center. We need a one-stop shop. We need a spot where kids can come, where they can eat, where they can pray, where they can talk about their problems, where they can get homework done, where we can help them prepare for their interviews that come in, or we can create resume, we can connect them with employment, we could connect them with military, we could connect them with any academic programs that could help further their education. And fast forward, here we are today.
I mean, this has been that proverbial, if they build it, if we build it, they will come. No, they're here, they've come, they're waiting for this project to be finished and the doors to be open. And what I see is every single one of these kids that I hear about and read about could be my son. And by the grace of God go I, that I raised my children to grow up and to be fine and not be on the streets, not losing their lives. This is what we have to do here.
Interesting enough, back in the spring, I text Zach and I said, this was right as he was going through a lot of stuff. And I said, yo, man, just trust in the Lord. And I sent him Proverbs 3. If you have your Bibles, write that in your mental Rolodex. Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. It says this: Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understandings. And in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. This dude texts me back. He's like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, that's our memory verse for the year. I had no clue. And from that point on, I said, man, that's what this is about. We can't talk about hope if I don't know how to what? Trust in the Lord with all of my heart.
How do we do more? How do we help more? How do we get more involved in this great community? And Zach famously said in his press conference when he was leaving Philadelphia before he was traded to the Cardinals, he said, this is home. Philadelphia is home.
We're here to build a legacy in Philadelphia because we love Julie, we love Zach, and I really don't care if he plays for the Eagles or the Cardinals or where he plays. What I care about is he's impactful here. And so it's funny, you know, that,
So we just want to thank everybody here today. Thank you. God bless you guys. Without Christ, none of this would be possible.
Amen.
I'm just praying that this will be a place of refuge and a place of light for all families, all people in our community.
And what does it mean for the Ertz Family Foundation to be involved with House of Hope?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of the hands and feet of Jesus coming to life. Just some people who really have a heart to serve, and that family taking on our family, adopting us into this, and not just giving, but contributing through their own efforts, putting their mind and body and soul into what we're doing.
And then one last one. What do you want House of Hope to grow into?
Oh, man. My hope is that House of Hope wouldn't just remain here in Huntington Park, but I pray that there will be House of Hopes all around the city of Philadelphia that will help young people and help kids. Again, to get education, to be able to learn what does it mean to get a job and be stakeholders in their community, and ultimately to know the Lord.
Amen. Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate you,
it,
brother.
man. Lisa, what does House of Hope mean to you?
It is really the culmination of relationships that we've made in the city, the work that needs to be done in the city, the love that Zach and Julie and I feel for the city, and it's an opportunity for us to pour into 300 to 500 kids and their families every day through food, support, services, resources, everything they need, really.
What do you want it to grow into?
I want it to grow into that place where people say, I'm heading over to the house, I'm heading over to Hope, call it some cool thing that comes out of the whole, the name, and just the kids know that this is here, and they know that this is the place they come if they're hungry or if their family needs something, or if they need help with anything, they know that this is a resource for them.
On a side topic but fun topic, when you heard 9 years ago Zach was getting drafted to not just the East Coast, but to Philadelphia, what was the first thing that went through Mom's head?
Thank you, Chip Kelly. You said first thing.
First thing. Thank you, Chip Kelly. Okay. And then 9 years later, obviously.
Okay, so
what comes to mind?
The city is amazing. It's the people have so much soul, so much heart, so much grit, so much determination. It's just an amazing place, and I am very grateful still to Chip Kelly. And I have also, a lot of people don't know this, but I went to college in Allentown, Pennsylvania, so left this area to move to California and raise my kids. And 34 years later, I came back here after Zachary had been here for about 7 years, and I just get to do this amazing work every day with their voice, their platform, how much love they have for the city, and it just gets, it's an honor every day for me to do it.
Zach was asked when he knew Philadelphia felt like home. When was it home? When was it home for you?
A couple years ago, when I moved here, a friend of mine had asked me where I felt home was, because I had moved around a lot growing up. I lived in a lot of different places, and then went to California. So I never really felt like a lot of kids do, where it's like, that's my hometown, this is my hometown. And we met again about 6 months later, and I said to him, oh, by the way, Philly's my home. And I think it was all the years I came here to see the games, obviously the insane experience of the parade here and the Super Bowl, and just walking into places and being like, Zach Ertz is my son. Like, this just, people have been so welcoming and amazing. But then when I moved here and got to do the foundation work and got to take like my love for the city and my love for Zachary and Julie and do something to honor them every day and honor the city at the same time, it was a perfect situation.
Great. Awesome. And then the last thing, what's your favorite part of the Farzy Show?
When you're funny. When you say
the rare occasion.
No. You're funny all the time. When you did this the other day, I spit my coffee out, Jim. I'm not even kidding. And then he said in the same show about how like everybody was getting high and he wasn't. And then he goes, and then I found whiskey. I spit my coffee out again.
Straight edge until I discovered whiskey. Yes, that's it. You're the best. Thank you so much,
You're the
babe.
best.
Thank you so much.
Are you kidding me? Thank you.
It is my absolute honor and privilege to get involved with anything the Ertz Family Foundation is doing. A special shout out to Zachary's mom, as she likes to say, Lisa Ertz, for allowing me to interview her after that, and Pastor Rob joining the package there as well. Without further ado, joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, Super Bowl champion, former Eagles tight end, now member of the Arizona Cardinals, and Julie Ertz, two-time World Cup champion, a slew of other accolades. Zach and Julie Ertz joined the show. A lot of people have had sign-off press conferences, if you will, and Zach, yours really stuck out to me because you talked about this amazing charity that I have been able to jump on board with and try to help out as much as possible. House of Hope through the Ertz Family Foundation. Julie, you and Zach have both done a phenomenal job of getting involved in the community. What's the latest right now when it comes to House of Hope, and how can people get involved when they want to help out with House of Hope?
I mean, obviously the response has been phenomenal since we left, just the outpouring of support from the $8.60 campaign that you started. So we're definitely appreciative of that. But we're almost there. We're close to, at the end of the day, meeting our goal that we started out with. And it speaks a lot of just how much people have appreciated what we're doing, what Julie's doing, what I'm doing in the community. These kids are who we love, and we're excited about putting this project together, obviously with Pastor Rob Whitmire and Tim Mateo, partnering with them, as I know you've met. And so it's just a great opportunity for us to kind of leave a lasting project in Philly that we know can impact so many people.
Yeah, we had our groundbreaking a few weeks ago. So looking for the start of the building process and really excited for that. And so hopefully by next year, it'll be up and running.
How did you guys land on House of Hope?
It's been a long conversation. We've learned a lot with Rob as well. I think during 2020, I had more time off during COVID. So we had like an after school program as well. And a lot of the times we sat down and asked the kids, what is it that you need? What directly do you need? What kind of things? And they would write things out. And really, number one, like a lot that I think that kind of surprised me more so was that they checked off that they want a safe space. And that really started the conversation of what does that look like? Where would it be? What would it have there? And that is where House of Hope started. And we've just kind of been working at it since kind of that through the after school program to how do we make this kind of a sustaining thing? And that's, Lisa Ertz, Zach's mom, who has done an incredible job with our foundation. We brainstormed a ton as well with Rob Whitmire, and it's just incredible. So I'm really excited and hoping this has a lasting impact.
It really is amazing. And I was lucky enough to be at the groundbreaking. And you guys, one of the things I was talking about when I was there was how you guys have always gotten involved in the community, whether it's a turkey drop, a food drive, whatever it might be. You guys are right there trying to help out the community. And it's just really a very welcoming sight. And then I remember when the pandemic started, we had hopped on a Zoom call. You guys were my first ever Zoom call. So there you go. You guys wanted to get involved in helping out with Phil Abundance as well. And you guys were right there getting everybody else on board to take care of Philadelphia. Where does this, natural urge to just help the community come from for both of you?
I mean, I think obviously our faith is a big part of it. Just the love we have felt in our faith and just being able to reciprocate that, but also just the love we felt since the moment we got drafted there in Philadelphia 8.5 years ago. And so it was just always a small way that we can give back, and it's kind of culminated into this House of Hope project. And it's no different than when we got traded out to Arizona and supporting this community out here, but it's always stemmed from the love that we have felt from those in the community. And ultimately we feel we love to be able to give back. I think it's a huge privilege for athletes to be able to give back, and we're very fortunate to be able to do so at the end of the day.
One of the things that's also amazing is that I go on social media after the trade went down, Zach, and the next thing I know, Ertz Family Foundation is trying to help out there. You guys are raising money for meals out there in Arizona now?
Yeah, so we started the Score More and Feed More campaign, and we have partnered with Athletes Corner, who we've partnered with in the past. And so for every touchdown we score out here, it's going to be 5,000 meals towards the local food banks out here. And so it's just a small way, we wanted to make an impact. We didn't know how to. Obviously, there was a short time to figure out a plan. But what an opportunity to be able to give meals out here in Arizona.
By the way, it's your bye week right now at the time we're taping this. Congratulations on your 2-touchdown game. Not too shabby. We all saw that back here in Philly. When it comes to, just like we said, getting involved in the community and everything, how did it all come together in Arizona that fast?
Go ahead.
So Brennan runs Athletes Corner, and he actually lives out here. And so, we've during the holidays tried to figure out how we can, especially around food and food insecurity, especially after 2020. But we've been doing this for a while as well. So we wanted to kind of connect food, which obviously is such a huge necessity, and the insecurity has actually grown since 2020. And really just kind of make it a community thing. We celebrate touchdowns all the time, but also partner meals. So more touchdown, more meals, like even more to celebrate.
Julie, you were going through therapy, obviously, for the MCL injury that you suffered earlier in the year, really. And Zach was going through therapy as well for his injury. He dropped a phrase in one of the interviews saying couples therapy. When I say couples therapy, Julie, what jumps to mind?
Yeah, I feel like every time he's got a knock, I do as well, it seems like. So they kind of joked that it was the Ertz Corner. We had like where our med tables, or what are they called? Med tables?
Treatment tables.
Treatment tables were together. And so we kind of go in the same time and do our whole treatment. And so, yeah, it wasn't a great time. I wasn't going to say not because we were injured, but it helps us a ton. And I think at the end of the day, having that support, especially when you're going through it at the same time, it's even double the support because the person kind of understands what you're going through.
Absolutely amazing. And what's next for you, Julie?
Just getting back into training. Once I did my MCL, getting back to the Olympics was really rough. I knew that getting back that quickly from my injury was, maybe not the smartest, but I wouldn't have done that obviously unless it was the Olympics. So push through that. And of course, compensation leads to other things. So right now it's just really getting back on track, and, kind of the next year, push it to where I'm 100%.
And Zach, obviously in Philadelphia right now, we're going through this transition. And I know a big question here in Philly has been about Jalen Hurts. Is he Mr. Right or Mr. Right now? Is he the franchise guy going forward? In your time with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, who do you think we have here in Philadelphia as a quarterback in Jalen Hurts?
I mean, obviously I'm not the one making the decisions, but the one thing I'll say about Jalen is that he works his butt off. That's something that always resonated with me, just the way he was always willing to put in work. Whenever I wanted to work out or train, he was right there with me. And so I don't know what the future holds, but the one thing I always respected about Jalen was his ability to work and his work ethic, because he wants to be great. And at the end of the day, I could respect that as a player.
Two quick things for you. Whenever I watch anything on the two of you guys, whenever I watch anything on like the history of Zach and Julie, it's always, oh, Zach, I'm this shy guy, and I saw this girl sitting at a baseball game in Stanford, and oh, I just had to go over. If you were the shy, bashful guy, what came over you to go talk to Julie?
Maybe, she's just so beautiful. I mean, how could I not go up and sit right next to her,
It was the only seat left.
Well played. All of a sudden you got swagger. Also, you guys have talked about cooking in the relationship and all that. Zach, if it's a last meal scenario, what are you asking Julie to make? And Julie, what are you asking Zach to make?
There's so many options, I feel like. I don't think I could name one, but she is a phenomenal cook, and she understands that, like, I want to eat super clean all the time, and I'm not going to stray kind of from that meal plan. So she does a lot of great things, and she changes it up all the time. So it's been a blessing to have her be able to be home for an extended period of time and cook for me and just kind of support us during this time.
Phenomenal. Julie, how about you?
Breakfast. I don't really let him cook anything else.
Breakfast too much. You know?
Understood. You guys miss Scrapple at all? Not being in Philly now? You miss Scrapple? No? Oh, wait, you said eating clean. Never mind. That's pretty much the opposite of that. That's not exactly kale. Guys, in all seriousness, from the bottom of my heart, not as someone interviewing you, but just as someone who has lived the majority of his adult life in Philadelphia and somebody who grew up in the suburbs here, thank you for just all you have done for the community of Philadelphia. I really mean that. From, again, the food drives to House of Hope, even what you guys are doing in Arizona right now, you guys are just such great assets to the community here in Philadelphia. And I know no matter what, wherever you're working or playing, that's always going to be in effect. So I urge everyone, make sure you guys go to ertzfamilyfoundation.org, check out House of Hope, see how you could donate, and make sure you click that button right there when you go there on your phone and donate right now. Zach, Julie, can't thank you guys enough. Zach, continued success out there in Arizona, and who knows, maybe a little playoff meeting between these two teams.
Yeah, who knows? Thank you, obviously, for your support, Mark, with the foundation. And I can speak for Julie and myself. I think it truly means a lot, the support you've shown to us, even though we're not there, just with the House of Hope. So we're definitely grateful for you, and obviously, we've always been grateful for that community.
Back at you guys, and also another shout out to Pastor Rob and Timothy as well. You guys are all fantastic. Thank you so much. Continued success to the both of you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Associated with anything the two of them do through their foundation. It's great work. Absolutely great work. Thanks for watching this Thanksgiving Day special edition of the Farzy Show here at the Steven Singer Studios. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Thanksgiving day. Thanks for watching.